seconds from Game 7 or from championship number 6. Jordan, open, Chicago with the lead.
Remaining, and they're putting Curry in the pick and roll, trying to get him on Irving. Irving and Curry, one-on-one. Irving puts it up. It's good! Kyrie Irving from downtown!
We're sending it in, Jerome. That's for damn sure.
Yes. What is up, everybody? Welcome to Tap Room Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Jordan. Stacks on stacks on stacks, lads. Joined as always with my guy, Mr. Big Ballin, Ben Larson. We are live and direct Sunday night, NFL Week 8. Wrapping up. We got one more game left, obviously, for Monday Night Football. We are being brought to you by the Sharps app, SHARPZ. Straight to your mobile device. Use promo code JORD517. It's free to download, free to use. Track your bets. Become a better Sharps app. How we doing tonight, Ben?
Doing well, man. I mean, I'm coming off a dub, so it was a little dicey there at the end, but coming off a dub, which has been a couple weeks. So, definitely happy there. Got a new beer that I'm drinking tonight, which comes from a brewer to a brewer and then gifted to me. So I'm excited about that. It's a 6.9% IPA coming out of Portland.
Okay.
So,
6.9. That's strong, Ben.
It's a big boy.
That is.
But I haven't had an IPA in a long time, which
shame on you.
Is a little surprising. I've been drinking Pilsners, I've been drinking Pales, I've been drinking fucking lagers.
Yeah.
I've been drinking the lighter stuff recently, so it's okay. 6.9.
Yeah. It's not even that heavy.
No. That's good for an IPA.
Yeah. It's like perfect. 6 to 7%. I feel like it's perfect.
Yeah,
that's where an IPA should be.
Yep.
Man, crazy day of crazy weekend of NFL. We got NBA back, full swing, regular season, World Series. Obviously, Game 3 comes on tomorrow.
Yep.
We got Clark Schmidt going head to head against Walker Buehler in the Bronx. Yankees down 2-0, which we'll get to after NFL, but obviously today's all about football. And the NFL has been kind of boring lately. The last 2 weeks have been, just teams steamrolling, and I just feel like the top of the league is just so much better than the bottom of the league, which we normally don't see that a lot. NFL's got much more parity usually. But this week we had some really good games, man. We had some really exciting finishes. The Commanders-Bears game, which we'll get to, was fucking awesome. But let's start with Sunday Night Football, Ben. We had Stevens on the chat. Grateful Dead tea is fire. Yes, thank you. And he said made the Steelers -3.5 at 6. The only nod would be the Giants. I also think this one goes over, sitting at 36.5. Yes. We are going to get to the Monday night game. I know Ben has a play already in it. I'm not really confident in anything in that game, except for maybe I like one prop, which I'll probably give out, which we'll get to in that game. Not a big fan of that game, but we'll talk about it. But let's hop into the Sunday night game. We had Dallas at San Francisco. Two teams that have been playing like shit. Dallas coming off the bye. The line closed San Francisco -5.5. And then the total was 48. Total goes over. San Francisco covers 5.5. They almost blew the game. They tried to blow a 20-point lead, and it almost fucking happened. But they end up winning 30-24. Dak Prescott 25 of 38, 243 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 horrible interceptions.
Yeah.
Dallas still cannot fucking run the ball. CeeDee Lamb had a really good game, although most of his catches came in quote-unquote garbage time. 146 yards, 2 touchdowns. On the flip side, Brock Purdy, 18 of 26, 260 yards, 1 touchdown. Garnendo added 85 rushing yards for a touchdown. Jordan Mason left the game injured again. And then George Kittle had the 6 catches for 120 yards and 1 touchdown. And by the way, Ben, did you know that today was National Tight Ends Day?
Oh, I think I maybe heard it once or twice, maybe like 75 times on the motherfucking
Jesus
broadcast.
Christ,
Jesus.
dude.
Yeah.
All fucking day, dude. It's national title. Like, dude, okay, we get it. We got it at 10 a.m. We didn't need the fucking every time a tight end caught the ball.
I also heard it's
Tight Ends
National,
Day.
what is it, Mother-in-Law Day. Who cares? Shout out Deb. But who cares? Really?
The National Tight Ends Day, man. That shit, I was like, all right, dude. I've had enough. Of this shit. But nonetheless, George Kittle had a great game.
Yeah.
San Francisco got back in the win column in a very open NFC West, which the Cardinals sit atop now with losses with the Seattle Seahawks loss. So, but again, it's like wide open. You got 3 teams that are 4-4, and basically anybody can win this division. Niners get back on the winning track. They got to get healthy though. I think that's ultimately their biggest thing. Obviously, they're not going to get Ayuk back, but their defense, they got to get defensive guys healthy. Because their defense isn't that good. It's not playing.
No, it hasn't been that good. And on National Tight Ends Day, that you did have Deebo Samuel go down again with some rib injuries. After coming back from
the pneumonia,
the pneumonia, where he was in the hospital for a day. But yeah, no, I thought it was a much better day, get back day for, a great tight end on National Tight Ends Day. So, definitely was a good day for Kittle. I thought it was a great day for Ricky Pearsall. He really got into the mix, which is something that I think is going to take him a couple weeks to, let us see what he can actually do.
They're going to
with
need
Ayuk out. What's that?
They're going to need him.
Oh yeah, exactly. That's exactly where I was going. Is where with Ayuk out, this was, I think part of why we didn't trade Ayuk was because he got shot and we didn't know how long he was going to be out. And with him being a possible replacement for Ayuk, we can actually see what that does now, and why they drafted him so high. When you have a plethora of wide receivers. And if, when Ayuk comes back, maybe they get rid of Debo's contract and you have Ayuk and Pearsall together to, be kind of a 1-2 punch on that, on the wide receiver core there. So, and then having Juwan Jennings when he gets back. So it was good to see him have a good day. Huge rush there for 39. But you're right. Everybody needs to get healthy on this team. And, and then the Niners will be back to not as good as they were last year, but they will be back to probably one of the top teams in this division.
Yeah. They're not going to get Hargrave back this year, I don't think. So that's going to be tough.
I think it was likely that he was.
I don't know. Drake Jackson's on IR. I mean, they got a lot of dudes that are hurt, and they got a lot of young guys in the secondary. So, I mean, even at full strength, I don't know if they're definitely not going to be as good as last year, but yeah, they're not going to be this bad. I know Steven had he played Niners live. I was kind of in the same position. I played Niners first quarter because I lean Niners to win the game, but with both teams so injured, I wasn't completely sure, and I wish I did jump in on that live number with San Francisco because he got him at like -2.5 in the second quarter, which is like a great number.
Hargrave not back till playoffs.
Yeah, so that's fucking huge blow, dude.
Yep,
they might not even make the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
So
they'll likely make the playoffs.
I mean, I don't know, dude. This division's only getting one fucking team in the playoffs. Well, I mean, the NFC is fucking trash too, so that's also positive.
Yeah, you got the NFC East, which is pretty trash. You've got the North is definitely going to have they might have
the
North
North
could have 3 teams. Yeah.
Yeah. aside
The
from
NFC
that
South is
division,
pretty trash.
but that's what I'm saying. Like that division is gonna get 3 teams in, so every other division it's gonna be tough to get in, dude.
Yeah.
You basically got to win the division, and the Falcons are pretty much. I mean, you could fucking chalk them into the fucking NFC South now with all the Buccaneers injuries. It's gonna be a fucking blow for them, but yeah, yeah. Niners did their thing, man. They did their thing,
Yep.
got back in the win column, and that's what they had to do, and they knew what they had to do. On the other hand, for Dallas, dude, I mean, what does Dallas do from here? Because, I mean, they're just a fucking mess, dude. They're 3-4. They're 0-3 at home. They've now lost 2 in a row, and I mean, they look like shit, man. Like they cannot fucking run the ball for shit.
Yeah.
Their offensive line, which was once a strength of their team, is now, kind of a weakness. Dak's the highest paid player in the NFL, and he looks like shit week in and week out. And aside from that fourth quarter, I mean, he was fucking nowhere to be found tonight.
Yep.
And
and the fourth quarter, it only happened because, well, one play was absolutely beautiful, but the touchdown only happens because 2 of the Niners run into each other.
yeah,
And if you don't make that throw, then it's, I mean, you don't deserve to be a starting quarterback there.
yeah, for sure.
But
Does Mike McCarthy make it to the end of the year?
I don't think so.
Yeah, he's got to go, dude.
I don't think so. And let's see, who does Dallas even like? What's Dallas's schedule going through the rest of the year?
They have a tough schedule. I know that.
They have Falcons, Eagles, Texans, Commies, Giants, Bengals, Panthers, Bucks, Eagles, Commies.
I mean, bro, they might only have 3 wins there.
I was gonna say 2, but
Well, they'll beat the
yeah.
Panthers. They could beat the Bucks because the Bucks are like hella injured.
Yeah, but they don't play the Bucks until December 22nd, which is week 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16.
Yeah, I mean, they could
get some talent back there because that division is wide open.
Yeah, but the Cowboys also probably get healthy by then too.
Yeah.
Because that's a big part of their. But I mean, aside from health and stuff, because I mean, their offense is pretty healthy. They just fucking suck.
Yeah.
The defense is not healthy.
I mean, I see them beating the Giants. I see them beating the Panthers.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's probably the only 2 like for sure wins that they have on
Yeah.
the rest of their schedule.
The Bengals is going to be a close game. The Eagles, one of those 2 will be close, but Eagles can take both of them.
Eagles are getting better defensively as the year goes on.
Yeah.
Though, which we're gonna get into shortly.
I don't think they beat either of the Commanders games. Not with the way the Commanders are playing right now.
Yeah, but the Commanders are due for regression, dude.
Yeah.
Like they didn't play great today.
No, and you could see that JD was injured.
Yeah, I mean he looked good in the first half. They just couldn't score touchdowns. But well, let's get into that game. Let's talk about that game. So we had Chicago at Washington. Washington ended up closing as a 1-point favorite, and then the total was 46. The total soared under. Washington won 18-15 on one of the craziest Hail Marys I've ever fucking seen. That shit was like a 70-yard Hail Mary.
Yep.
I didn't think there was any chance that shit was going to get even close to the end zone, and it did, and it got tipped right to Noah Brown, who made the game-winning catch. But the biggest story about this game, really, other than the Hail Mary, obviously, was the fact that, Washington was really in control of this game in the first half. Chicago really couldn't move the ball at all. Caleb Williams was like 3 for 13 in the first half for like 33 yards. Just looked terrible. And then the second half and towards the end of the third quarter, DeAndre Swift broke a 56-yard run, and you could feel the momentum just switch from there. And but up until that point, Washington drove the ball consistently down the field. They just couldn't get in the end zone. They could not score touchdowns and kept settling for field goals, which we've seen with their offense. This isn't the first time we've seen it. We've seen this before. And so they left the door open for Chicago. They drive the ball down the field, Ben, get to the 1 yard line, and then for some stupid ass reason, they fucking hand the ball off to an offensive lineman, dude. Like, I don't understand what the fuck that shit was about, bro. Like, why are we handing the ball off to an offensive lineman, bro? Just give it to your running back. Give it to Roschon Johnson. So he fumbles the ball without even being touched because obviously he's not used to fucking carrying a football. And then the Commanders end up going 3 and out. They punt it. The Bears drive back down, score, take the lead, and then get the 2-point conversion, go ahead 15-12. And then, the crazy Hail Mary from there, which was absolutely insane. The Commanders end up winning. And now the Commanders sit atop the NFC East. They're 6-2. But again, like I'm not 100% sold on this Commanders team still. Like, yeah, they won this game. Yeah, they beat the Panthers the last week. But I mean, they got severely outplayed against the Baltimore Ravens. They got outplayed in the second half of this game. Right? They should have lost this game.
Well, I think the youth of this team definitely came out in the second half of this game. But, I mean, we've seen the Ravens, fucking knock the socks off of teams. And, they really only lost by 7 points to the Ravens. But, they've beaten the teams that are in front of them. Are those great teams? No. But they've beaten what's in front of them. That's part of having a fourth place schedule, is that you're gonna get a little bit easier of teams going through. And looking at their schedule, they're gonna run through this, the AFC and be one of the top teams going into the playoffs.
The NFC.
No, sorry, the NFC and running into the playoffs, because their schedule is a piece of cake.
Yeah, but my point is that I think that there is regression coming from Jaden Daniels, which we've seen.
I don't, because look at the defenses that they're going to play. The hardest defense they've got is in 2 weeks against the Steelers. Other than that, maybe the Cowboys in January.
Well, they still got to play the Eagles too.
They play the Eagles, yeah. But I think they're right on par with the Eagles team.
But the thing with the Eagles is their experience and their defense is very young, and they're getting better as every week. They're getting better and better.
The youth is going to play a factor into this, absolutely. But
don't get me wrong, dude. I think Jaden Daniels is good. I think the Commanders are good, but I don't think they're like this juggernaut. I don't think they're not even anywhere in the same stratosphere as the fucking Detroit Lions. Or the Minnesota Vikings.
I agree.
Or the Green Bay Packers.
Agree. But they're still going to win their division.
I don't know, dude. Eagles might have something to say about that.
Yeah, Eagles might have something to say about that. But you look at the schedule, you're probably only losing maybe 3 more games in the whole season for them. They're going to be a 10-5 team. Or, excuse me,
who else do they have on their schedule?
Next week is the Giants. Cake.
I mean, they should have lost to the Giants the first time. If the Giants had a healthy kicker, the Giants win that fucking game.
But they didn't, and it's Jaden's second game.
Yeah.
The Giants are trash. We're going to see it again tomorrow night.
But this is the thing about the Giants. The Giants are bad, but their defensive line is hella good.
Yeah.
And their defense is pretty good. Without Andrew Thomas, their offensive line is atrocious, and Daniel Jones sucks.
Yeah.
But the Giants have talent.
You only have to put up 14 points, and the Giants are going to lose.
Maybe.
Then you go at home versus the Steelers, which I think the Steelers are another team that's been blessed with the type of schedule that they've had.
Yeah.
I don't think the Steelers are that great of a team. I think they're better than the Giants.
I think they're better with Russell Westbrook, but the Steelers' offensive line
Russell Wilson.
Did I say Westbrook?
Yeah.
Sorry, Russell Wilson.
You got basketball on your mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Steelers, which we'll obviously talk about that game, but the Steelers' offensive line does concern me. But I mean, they held up well against the Jets, but I'm starting to really wonder like how bad the Jets really fucking are, dude.
Yep, absolutely,
Which
absolutely.
we're gonna
We'll
get
talk
to.
about it. Yeah.
But I agree. I mean, the NFC is just it's not a good conference, dude. Like the
Yeah,
AFC is definitely better.
so then I'll just fly through the rest of these. They have the Eagles, the Cowboys, the Titans, the Saints, the Eagles, the Falcons, and the Cowboys.
Yeah, the Saints definitely fell off. Let me ask you this: who are your top 5 teams in the NFL right now?
Top five, as in like the best teams,
The best,
or
the top 5
okay,
all around
um,
teams.
top five all around teams. I have
So I think number 1, you got to go Chiefs. They haven't lost in like
they haven't
fucking a
lost. Yeah,
year.
yeah. I was gonna more just do like five altogether. Um,
Well, no,
so
because let's go through this. So number 1, Chiefs.
Chiefs, yeah.
Number 2, who do you have?
Ooh, this is tough. I'm gonna go Baltimore.
I'm going Lions.
Yeah, I can see Lions. I can also see Minnesota in that. Those are probably my next two
So
is Minnesota
so
and
so
Detroit.
3, I have Baltimore.
Uh-huh.
4, Minnesota.
Yeah.
5, Atlanta.
I mean,
And I could make a case for
that's
Buffalo at 5. Like Buffalo would be right after Atlanta.
yeah.
I think they're both pretty even.
The reason I mean, I think Atlanta has the potential to be better. I think once they get that connection that they haven't really had. Maybe last week was the first time, maybe the week before was the first time we actually saw it. Um, this can be a really good team. You've got offensive threats left and right. You've got defensive, prowess from their drafts the last couple of years too. And
I mean, they dropped the game against the Seahawks. It was a dud,
yeah,
but you look at their only other losses, it's to the fucking Chiefs, and the Steelers in week 1. And they've looked way better since that week 1. That was a bad
yeah.
loss.
I think Atlanta gets there for me. I don't think they're there right now. I think I put Buffalo over them right now. But at the end of the season, I would not be surprised if Atlanta is above, maybe even, into that fourth spot instead of fifth.
Steven said he got Chiefs, Ravens, Lions, Packers, Bills, Ravens. See, like that's the thing is like I think the 5 to 8 range or 4 to 8 range. I mean, you could make a case for like all those teams, like the Vikings, Falcons, Packers, um, Vikings, Falcons, Packers. Who else?
I mean, 2 weeks ago,
And
you could have
Bills.
put Tampa Bay up there.
Yeah, but they're hella
But
injured,
yep,
and that
Bills,
knocks
I
them out.
think. Um,
And I mean, you could put the Eagles. You could make a case for the Eagles too in there, especially the way that their defense has been playing. Who do you have 8 in your power? I haven't updated my power ratings as of today, but coming into this week, I had Buffalo. I had the Buffalo Bills there. Because the Bills' defense hasn't been good for a while, although it has been due to some injuries. But I mean, today they showed up. They showed up big. But yeah, I think that that like 4 to 6 range. But I mean, I think everybody agrees without a doubt the 3 best teams in the league is Chiefs, Lions, Ravens. Right? We like all agree there.
yeah, I think even like I know you have Detroit at number 2, but I mean they just squeaked out that Minnesota win, and now um you have Hutch out.
Yeah, I mean it's a blow, but I mean they've been doing well without him, and they're gonna make a trade for him.
I mean,
A trade
Tennessee
for
is
someone.
not a fucking something that you can, put
Steven said he
put
agrees.
a
Top
rating.
three: Chiefs, Ravens, Lions.
I'm 50-50 on Vikings Lions.
But how can you put the Vikings just lost to the Rams? I mean, their defense has been getting shredded the last 3 weeks, dude. Like that's my problem with the Vikings is up until 3 weeks ago they were like 1-2 with the Chiefs, but now their defense is getting exposed. Like you can't run cover zero all the time and not expect teams to adjust to it. And
Yeah,
teams are starting to adjust to it, and they're gonna have to make adjustments again. Brian
I think
Flores has not been able to show that he could do that yet.
what kind of puts the asterisk on me is that I know Dan Campbell's going to be doing a dumb fucking play that's going to lose him a game or two.
Probably like, dude, I didn't think the Lions were gonna be as good as last year, dude. I'll be
Yeah.
I'll be the
Well,
first one
their
to
their
admit that.
running core is just
They run the ball better.
insanity.
They have the best offensive line too.
Yeah.
Like they run the ball against anybody, bro. And that's you have to be able to do that. And to some extent the Ravens do that too. And I know the Ravens lost today, but I'm not gonna put a lot into it. It's a division loss. They were a toenail away from beating the Chiefs in week 1. They have three incredibly tough losses.
Yeah, and I think this was a look over game for them.
I also think the Browns had like a lot to prove, dude. In Jameis's first game, and I mean, you could just tell in his post game interview, like how emotional he was and stuff. And I just think the Browns were fired up, like this was their Super Bowl basically.
I can't believe their fans were like chanting "You deserve it"
To who?
to Watson as he's getting carted off.
That was last week though.
Well, I know, but still, I still, even as bad as he played, I still can't believe fans would chant "You deserve
It's
it."
more than his on field play though, dude. That's what you have to understand. I mean, the guy has like 118 pending sexual assault allegations against him, dude. Like,
Still,
it's the whole situation for the
it's
Cleveland
still
fans, dude.
shocking that if they weren't in Cleveland, I can kind of see that.
Nah, because you gotta think about it like this though. He has all these sexual assault allegations and stuff, and and on top of that, you're representing the city, right? And then on top of that, they go and trade for him, and they give this guy like the richest contract in the NFL, and all he's done has been bad or hurt. All while these sexual assault allegations are going on. So
Yeah, but that's not
the frustration is pent up for the fans, dude.
telling someone that they deserve a fucking ruptured Achilles. Come on.
I
No.
mean, dude, I got no sympathy for someone with 118 sexual assault allegations, dude.
It's
I'm
not
sorry.
118 sexual assault allegations, but
It's a lot. It's like over 50.
it's probably around 50. But which is, I mean, 2 is too many.
Yeah.
1 is too many.
Yeah.
But
And I know I mean, maybe I'm not in the minority there, but I sorry, dude, I don't have any sympathy for that shit.
no, that was too much. That was too much. Cheering for a person to get hurt is too much.
That's karma, dude.
It
karma.
may have that, but cheering for a person to get hurt is too much. Being carted off the field, come on.
We can agree. Well, I mean, dude, we'll agree to disagree. Someone was representing my city in my town and had all the off the field shit going on. We just gave
that was before. Off the field, the shit was well before.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like
you got to be mad at your
it.
owners. You got to be mad at your owners.
Oh, they are. They absolutely are. A lot of
they
people
wouldn't be if he was playing well.
A lot of Browns fans fucking stopped watching the Browns because
if he was playing well, they wouldn't have.
Sure, but I mean, on top of all the off the field stuff, and he like literally looks like the worst quarterback in the NFL. You have to understand their frustration. Crazy thing is, he got hurt having his best game, and since he was a Brown, which fucking is terrible. But anyways, Carolina, Denver.
It is Ohioans too, so
Yeah, shout out to Ohio. Nothing against y'all. Um, could be crazy though. Denver and Carolina. Sorry, close 13. Ben. Denver minus 13. The total was 40. The total goes over. Denver wins 28-14. Bryce Young looked good on the first drive. Actually didn't have a terrible game other than the two interceptions.
Yeah.
But man, Carolina they're just a really bad team, and Denver, they might have found the answer with Bo Nix. Man, he gets better and better every single week. Man.
Yep. Yeah, 28 for 37 for 248 today with 3 touchdowns and no interceptions. Absolutely outstanding. I think it's just a breath of fresh air for them that they aren't paying another QB a million, a shit ton of millions to go out there and suck.
Oh, sorry, Ben, real quick. Sorry. Steven makes a great point here in the chat about Deshaun Watson. And I think him and we come from a very similar place because he said the shit is fucked up. Browns did know about the rub and tugs, but cheering any injury is weak. Browns just can't get anything right at QB. Watson didn't help himself in the press conference. I have a daughter, and I agree with both of you. And I think that's the big thing. I think having a daughter kind of changes the outlook on Deshaun Watson. Because normally, I'd agree with both of you.
I think what he did was complete. Like, I don't even need to have a daughter. What he did was fucking disgusting and gross, especially if he did force himself onto any woman or, expose himself onto any woman that wasn't open with that. I don't need a daughter for that.
Yeah.
But it's more on the ownership who brought him in knowing all this information to pay him 100% guaranteed contract and to not make any changes when he's been sucking, to know that he wasn't fully healthy when coming in, and that's on the Browns.
Yeah.
That's not on Watson. That part is not on Watson.
Yeah, not at all.
But it's a shitty thing to do for anybody on your team. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's your team. It doesn't matter if it's your rival. You don't fucking cheer a guy going down and getting carted off.
Fair enough. All right, back to your point that you were talking about in the Broncos game.
I think it's a breath of fresh air for Bo Nix to come in and not be paid. What was Russ making last year? Like 30 million?
Shit. Yeah. Too much.
And just absolutely going out there and throwing duds. And this is a young team that's playing really well. And I think they're also another team that has benefited from being, the 4th place team in their division. But I think the Bucks win was probably their biggest. But I mean, if you look at these 5 wins, they're not versus the greatest teams. The Saints, when they've been injured, the Panthers, the Raiders, who are god awful.
Well, even the Bucks game, like the Bucks were like totally injured.
Yeah,
they had like
the Jets, who have been god awful.
Yeah, that Jets win looks worse and worse as the weeks go on.
Yeah. So I mean, I think with their loss to the Seahawks week 1 was close game. The Steelers was a close game. I mean, it was 13-6. Is that the one that Steelers didn't score a touchdown? It was all 13. No. Math doesn't add up, right? But
yeah, no, they scored a touchdown. I think they scored a defensive touchdown, if I'm not mistaken.
So, like, I think you hold high on the Steelers game, even though it was a loss. It was week 2, and your rookie quarterback is getting his bearings, and then he's come out and he's put up points every single week.
Yeah,
they've got a tough 3 weeks ahead of them, though. They've got the Ravens, the Chiefs, and the Falcons. So, we may see this team that are 5-3 now coming back at 6-5, or sorry, 5-6.
Yeah,
over the next 3 weeks, and that's where they should be. This is a young team. This is a middle of the pack team. They'll get a little bit more, ease throughout the second half of the season, but you're in a tough division with the Chiefs.
Chargers are good too.
the Chargers are getting better. But if I'm a Broncos fan, I'm happy.
Oh yeah. I mean, I thought this was going to be the worst team in the division. Them
Mhm.
and the Raiders, but the Raiders, for the last like several years have owned the Broncos. Like, I think they had like 10 straight wins against the Broncos. So that's why I basically had the Broncos last in this division because I thought both teams were going to be pretty ass.
Yeah.
But Sean Payton's doing a hell of a job out there in Denver, and Bo Nix. And like you said, dude, I think if you're a Broncos fan, I think what you want to see week to week is that they're improving and getting better, and Bo Nix is absolutely doing that, and they're winning games on top of it. So I think it's a win-win situation for the Broncos. But yeah, you still play in a division with fucking Patrick Mahomes, so good luck.
Yeah. Well, I think these next 3 weeks, even though they're tough against the Ravens, the Chiefs, and the Falcons, this is going to be great for them. This is going to be learning experiences,
Yeah.
especially when your first 2 games, you may get manhandled, but you have to take things, okay, like this is the level that you have to play.
Yep.
Then this is the level if you want to be at the top of your division, if you want to be at the top of the AFC, this is what you have to play like. And also going to show the ownership like, hey, we need more help.
Yeah.
These guys are young. You need to bring in experience. You need to bring in, some high leverage players to get them over the hump. And I wouldn't do it this year because Bo is a rookie and he's a lot of growth. And there's a lot of young guys on this team. But maybe next year, maybe the year after, you take those steps to become a top level contender in the
Yeah.
AFC.
Yep. Agreed. All right, let's move on to the next NFC West game. We had Kansas City at Las Vegas Raiders, aka Arrowhead West. This closed 8.5. Kansas City laying 8.5. The total was 43. The total goes over, and Kansas City wins 27-10. Raiders backdoor it. I mean, they were in the game the whole time, but they backdoored at the very end. Big thing about this game is Gardner Minshew just fucking sucks. He's fucking terrible.
It wasn't that bad.
Dude, he's fucking terrible, bro.
He is terrible, but
that fumble was fucking atrocious.
His line is not that bad.
The box score doesn't look as bad as the on the field issue was, but the other thing is Patrick Mahomes finally threw a touchdown in October, so he can get that off the list. Yeah. Also,
it had to happen because it was National Tight End Day that he threw a touchdown to a tight end.
Had to on National Tight End Day.
National Tight End Day.
But the Chiefs, they get it done, dude. They only rushed for 82 yards, which is their lowest rushing total of the year. But this is what they do, man. They find ways to fucking win, dude.
Yep.
And
look what happened. D-Hop did. It opened up Travis Kelce today.
Yeah, it definitely did. And their passing game looked a lot better than it has in recent weeks, for sure. The Raiders also could not run the ball. They rushed the ball 21 times for 33 yards, Ben.
Yikes. Yikes. I thought Alexander Madison was better than that, but when you don't have an offensive line.
Yeah.
And
that's the thing with the Raiders, dude, is like the Raider fans are like, oh, our quarterback situation is terrible. It's like, yeah, so is your offensive line. So
which
is your
affects your quarterback situation.
Like, yeah, they're just not a good team, bro. Like, they're not a good team at all. And Kansas City stays undefeated, still undefeated, Ben.
Yeah, it was a little dicey there at the end.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they were going to win the game anyways.
Yeah.
They dominated that game. All right, let's move on to the next game. We had New Orleans at the Chargers. Chargers closed 7.5-point favorites. The total was 41.5. This game goes under, and the Chargers win 26-8. Spencer Rattler, 12 of 24, 156 yards, 0 touchdowns, 0 INTs. Justin Herbert, 20 of 32, 279 yards, 2 touchdowns. And then he also added 49 yards rushing as well. McConkey had a huge day, 6 catches, 111 yards, 2 touchdowns. The Chargers are getting healthy, and the offensive line is good.
Do you see the Saints player, Nathan Shepard, try to twist up?
Herbert? Yeah, Herbert? That shit was dirty.
Yeah.
That shit was dirty.
I don't know if I like that. I'm glad he got fucking nailed, but
Yeah, no, he'll probably get fined for that when the
yeah.
league sees it. But man, the Saints started the year 2-0, looked like the best team in the NFL, and they are since 0-6,
Yeah.
and they look like fucking shit, dude. Dennis
Well,
Allen is another guy that needs to get fired.
two of those games was with Derek Carr too, so you can't say that it's because he went out that this team is sucking. So
Steven said Broncos have over exceeded expectations, but there is no way Bo is the future. All love for the Arizona boy quarterback, but one of my favorite plays was laying the 7 with the Chargers. With respect to the Cards, they should have lost last week against San Diego. That defense is for real. Yeah, the Chargers are good. My only concern about the Chargers, they just have no outside weapons, dude. So makes it a little difficult. And that's a huge reason why they kind of lost against the Cardinals. They couldn't get it in the end zone. Once they got into the red zone, you got to be able to convert there.
Yep.
But Saints below, Ben.
The Saints do blow.
It's a bad football team. All right, Buffalo at Seattle. Buffalo closed 3-point favorites. The total is 45. The total goes under, and Buffalo wins 31-10. Seattle Seahawks. I mean, they had opportunities in the beginning of the game, just could not fucking capitalize, and the game just got out of hand after that. I mean, they should have been winning the game in the first quarter, first half. And
we talk about a team who can't run. 17 carries for 32 yards.
Well, I mean, a big part of... I mean, they only ran the ball for 17 times because they were playing from behind.
Yeah, I mean, we were just talking about, what was it, 21 carries for 38 yards? Or, yeah, 38 yards. I think it was 1.4.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, no, Seattle...
1.9. This is can't run. And Geno Smith had the majority of their yards.
Yeah, they're not a very good team. They didn't have DK Metcalf today, but honestly, I didn't think that was going to be that big of an issue because they're still really talented at wide receiver. And like I said, dude, they moved the ball into the red zone. They got an interception. They had 2 red zone trips, and in both times, one time they snap it over Geno's head, ends up being a fucking punt, and then other time, they don't convert on 4th down, and they're just you can't give a guy like Josh Allen, you can't give him that many opportunities and not take advantage of it. And Buffalo did their thing, man. And this was honestly the best game I thought Buffalo's defense played all year. Without a doubt.
I didn't watch this game, but I will definitely take your word on it.
I mean, their defense has been terrible. Defense has been their weakness all year, but they were actually able to, like you said, they stopped the run, and they created turnovers.
Geno was in check. Yeah,
it was a good effort from Buffalo. Seattle's just Jekyll and Hyde, man. One week they look hella good, and the next week they look like shit, dude. They just can't. They can't figure it out and be consistent.
Well, I mean, you look at the turnover game too. You've got basically 3 turnovers when you have a turnover on downs. So, the interception, the fumble loss, and the turnover on down. That compared to 1 turnover for Buffalo.
Yep.
You're never gonna win a game 3-1.
Nope, it's very difficult. All right, let's go into the next game. We had Indy at Houston. Houston closed 4.5-point favorites. The total was 45. The total goes under. Houston wins 23-20. This was another game like Indianapolis had a ton of opportunities to fucking win this game, and on the and similar to Washington, I wouldn't say similar to Washington, but Houston just somehow every week, dude, they escape with these wins, bro, and they do not look good, but they escape with these wins.
Yep.
I don't know how the fuck it's happening, but this team, like the eye test tells you, like they're just not very. They're definitely not as good as last year, but they keep coming out with victories, Ben.
Yep. No, you're absolutely right. But I mean, I think we talk about, and I may be one of few with this opinion, Steven talked about Bo Nix being not the future for Denver. I don't think Anthony Richardson is the future for Indianapolis.
Agreed.
Not only his completion percentage is not great. Granted, he doesn't get the time, that he needs from that offensive line, but he just doesn't make the best decisions, whether it's running the ball, whether it's holding the ball, that split second too long, whether it's not leading the pass quite enough. He has difficulties making the right decisions when he's in the pocket, and
the talent is
there.
Be
a struggle.
The physical talent is there. Like,
yes.
You could see it. But yes, I agree with you. Like, he leaves a lot to be desired, and that's why Indy lost this game, dude. Like, they should have won this game. They had plenty of opportunities, but man, you cannot go 10 of 32 throwing the ball, dude. Like,
no,
that just can't happen.
Yeah,
in the NFL, you not in 2020.
And with his mobility too, 5 sacks for 35 yards.
Well, that's the thing too, is he holds on the ball way too long.
Yeah, way too long. And that's that decision making.
Yep. All right, let's move into the next game. We had Atlanta at Tampa. Atlanta closed 1.5-point favorites. The total was 48. Atlanta wins the game outright, 31-26. Total was 48. This was another one. I mean, it was 31-19. Looked like the game was completely over, but Tampa made it closer at the end. End up losing 31-26. Kirk Cousins 23-29, 276 yards, 4 touchdowns. Baker 37 of 50, 330 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Tampa's really banged up right now. Their defense isn't very good. And Atlanta, they're looking good, man.
Yep. Tampa Bay, another team that allowed 3 turnovers today.
Yep.
2 interceptions and a fumble.
Baker
can't do it.
His stat lines look good in the box scores, but dude, this is like 3 consecutive weeks he has like 2 or more interceptions.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you just can't keep giving the ball away like that.
Yep.
Steven said, you're right. 80% of the young QBs aren't the future. Damn, that's a big number, 80%. All right, let's move into the next game. Green Bay at Jacksonville. Green Bay closed 4.5-point favorites. Oh, actually 3.5. The total is 49. I know it got to 4.5 at some spots.
4 throughout the week.
Yeah.
I took it at 4, unfortunately.
Total was 49, and Green Bay wins 30-27. Jordan Love got hurt, ended up leaving the game. He was 14-22 for 196 yards. Malik Willis finished the game 4-5, 56 yards, 1 touchdown. Trevor Lawrence, 21-32, 308 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick. Again, I mean, Jacksonville had their opportunities, man, and they had an opportunity there at the end to get a stop and get the ball back, but they gave up a big play, which basically iced the game.
Yeah. Josh Jacobs had a day.
Yeah, he did. He did. And they're going to need him if
absolutely.
Jordan Love's not healthy.
I thought that this was one of the better games that we saw out of Trevor Lawrence this year.
Yeah.
He was at least, mobile. I think 2 of his incomplete passes were definitely very catchable balls, maybe even 3 of them. So you're looking more at like 24 out of 32, which puts him at 75%. It's I don't think they have the offensive firepower that he needs.
Who? Trevor Lawrence?
Yeah.
I mean, Brian Robinson looks really good.
Brian Robinson did not play today.
Yeah, he did. He had a huge catch.
Talking Brian Thomas?
Brian Thomas, sorry.
Okay.
I always get him and Brian Robinson mixed up. But yeah, he's hella nice. But yeah, I mean, like, he's probably the best weapon he's had since he's been there. But I mean, my issue with Trevor Lawrence is, like, the guy, was a prospect and everyone called him, like, can't miss, next great quarterback, all this shit. Mm-hmm. And, like, the dude just, like, he doesn't get better. He hasn't gotten better. Like, he's just the same. And then like there's this report that comes out, and not a report, an interview. He basically says like, basically saying he doesn't love football. He loves his family and he loves God. That's like,
I did not hear that.
That's his devotion to life, and he doesn't love football. And it makes sense because like he obviously doesn't put in the necessary work to like take those next steps.
Mm-hmm.
And you can kind of see it. Like he hasn't gotten better since he got into the league.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And when you're paying a guy that kind of money and he's your franchise quarterback, like I'm not saying you have to be like completely 100%, dedicated and the rest of your life doesn't matter, but bro, you're getting paid a lot of fucking money, dude.
Yeah.
And you need to be very dedicated. And that was kind of why, Kyler Murray had a fucking clause in his contract about studying when he's not in the fucking facility. Because it's the same thing, dude. You're giving a guy a lot of fucking money. You're giving him hundreds of millions of dollars, dude.
Yeah.
To play a fucking sport. Like, do your job. Get better. And Trevor Lawrence has not done that.
Well, I think that's, a big part of it too, is he got paid. And you see this every once in a while. A guy gets paid and he just doesn't. It's like, yeah, whatever. I'm set. I'm set for life.
Steven said, this is a conversation over a beer we will have, but this is a college football problem. Over the last decade, the college quarterback doesn't translate to the NFL. Very far and in between. Lots of these kids are backups, and that's only because of the guaranteed money. The NFL tries to adapt to these kids' games, but it should be college adapting to them to the pros.
Well, I think that's part of the problem with that too, is because there's so many teams that are just so much better. You have your upper echelon college players and college teams, and then there's such a disconnect between even the mid there, not even the low, but the mid. And you talk about Tua, Jalen, and those Alabama teams. You talk about the Clemson team. Is the majority of those guys went to the playoffs, went to the pros, but you don't have that talent on other teams, and you are able to stack your numbers. You're able to stack your highlight reel, and you look so much better because you're playing against trash.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing, dude, is like I get what Steven is saying, and I also agree with a lot of what you're saying. Because like a lot of what you're saying is like, when you're in college, dude, 1% of college players end up making the NFL. So you're not playing against fucking equal level talent, right? And so in college, coaches make it so it's not necessarily that coaches make the game so much easier. It's just the game is easier. And that's why like you watch guys and you're like, okay, that guy's really good. And that's also to your point, Ben, is like, you look at the best quarterbacks in the NFL, right? Josh Allen played at Wyoming, right? Jordan Love played at Utah State. Like a lot of the guys that end up being better quarterbacks in the NFL, Patrick Mahomes played at Texas Tech. You know what I'm saying? Because they're playing with lesser talent and they're still showing you enough to where an NFL team's like, this kid's good.
Yeah. Even
though they're playing with lesser talent, right? And I think a lot of the new stuff with like the last 4 years with like NIL and stuff is you're seeing a lot of good quarterbacks, that were those Josh Allens that did play at lesser schools with lesser talent. Now they're going to playing at bigger schools, right? Once they get that NIL money when they transfer there, and you're kind of seeing them like fall off because then they're not as good as we once thought they were. I don't know what the answer is, dude. I honestly don't. I think NFL teams, I think the defenses have adapted to the offenses of the last decade. Offenses became very pass happy and the spread offense got really big because teams were eliminating the run and they were taking away the run. So how do you defeat that with all the guys stacked in the box? You got to be able to throw the ball. So every offense goes out there, they go and they build an offense to throw the ball. Now you're seeing all the defenses, they're playing fucking 4-2-5, and they've built these defenses to stop spread offenses. So now what are we seeing good teams do? They're going back and running the football. The Kansas City Chiefs have adapted to it, right? The fucking, obviously the Niners, the Ravens, Like you're seeing these teams, Chargers now, like they have fullbacks again.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't seen fullbacks really play in like the last 10 years.
Yeah, other than use check.
And so I don't think it's necessarily a quarterback problem. I think it's more of an offensive scheme problem that needs to be changed. But I do think that in college it is totally easier for a lot of these guys.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about a quarterback problem, and that's Green Bay. Because the injury to Jordan Love did not look like it should have been a big injury.
Yeah.
It shouldn't have taken him out of the game. And if that is, I mean, you can't say it was a non-contact injury because there was contact there, but it was a very light contact. Mm-hmm. So if this is a re-aggravation, that's not great. If this is another injury that happened on a non-contact or low contact, that's not great for them.
Yeah, especially with the Lions coming up next week.
Yeah, I mean, Malik Willis has been playing well, but he's not up to Love standard. He's not up to a great quarterback standard.
Yep, agreed. All right, let's move on to the next game. We had Arizona at Miami. Miami closed 4.5-point favorites. The total is 46. The total goes over. Arizona covers and wins outright 28-27. Another comeback victory for the Cardinals. Tua, he was back today. 28 of 38, 234 yards, 1 touchdown. What was your thoughts on this game, Ben?
Don't fucking hit your head, Tua. Where's your guardian cap, Tua?
Also, Trey McBride on National Tight Ends Day had a big day.
Oh, wait, it was National Tight Ends Day?
It sure was.
Huh. Okay. Yeah, most passes caught by tight ends ever was today.
I heard that they all went off, dude.
Yeah.
It's like
it was National Tight Ends Day.
It's like the offensive coordinators knew, dude.
Really? Maybe they were listening to fucking the Sunday night. Well, I mean, that's obviously that's the last game. Never mind. That was stupid. Yeah, no, it was don't fucking get hit in the head too. That's all I thought about this game. Cardinals are squeaking out wins.
They sure are squeaking out wins.
Yep, and that's really all it is. I don't think you could say that. I mean, a win is solid in any case, but there's not. I mean, could you really say that any of these wins that Arizona has had, you're saying like that was a solid win? Maybe the Rams at 41-10.
Yeah, I mean that's their only reason.
The Niners game, close. The Chargers game close. The Dolphins close. And
I will say this about the Cardinals though: they're very resilient.
Yep. Because
they come back and they win these games, and that's a testament to Jonathan Gannon and his staff. And I knew the Cardinals defense was going to be a work in progress throughout the year. Very young unit. So they are getting better, and but Jonathan Gannon, it's always, second half adjustments that have been helping them and stuff. And at some point, you got to fucking put a whole 60 minutes together to win a fucking football game, dude. And they're going to have to figure that out. But, you take a win when you get a win, dude.
Absolutely. And I think this win today was really big.
Yeah, I did not think they were going to win, dude. I honestly, we were talking last night. I was like, bro, I wouldn't be shocked if we got fucking slaughtered in this game.
Yeah. And then you got Bears, Jets, Seahawks, 3 very winnable games coming up.
Yep. It's going to be big. All right, let's move on to the next game. We have the Jets at the Patriots. Jets closed 7-point favorites. The total is 41.5. The New England Patriots cover and win outright, and the total goes over as the Patriots win 25-22. I mean, the Jets just have a ton of fucking problems, Ben.
Yep. And some of these points, it wasn't that close. You saw, I guess you saw a garbage time touchdown from both of these teams.
No, it wasn't garbage time. They took
the lead on both of those. So
yeah, but the Patriots came back in fucking game-winning drive by fucking
Patriots came back twice.
Jacoby Brissett. And, hats off to the New England Patriots a week after their head coach called them soft. You know what I mean? Like, that's a huge win for them. And, the Jets, I mean, they're just not a good team, dude,
No.
by any stretch. They've lost 4 in a row now. They're just they're a fucking terrible team, bro. And I was telling
We've lost 5 in a row.
5 in a row, sorry. I was telling my buddy that's a Raiders fan because he was like complaining about the Raiders and where they're at, and I was like, bro, I'd rather be the Raiders right now than the fucking Jets, dude. Because the Jets, you have Aaron Rodgers, who's fucking 40 years old, right? He's not your future. He's not your future. So you have no quarterback after him. You have a lot of young skill players, and then you just add Devontae Adams, but your defense has gone south. Like, your defense, which was once like a very stout unit, all of a sudden isn't that great anymore. And it's like, what is this team's identity? Like, what are they? Who are they?
Mm-hmm.
Right? At least the Raiders, they're tanking. The Jets are trying to win ball games and they can't do it.
Yeah.
Like, that's a problem. They should trade. I mean, they should trade Aaron Rodgers. I don't know who's going to trade for him, but I would trade him.
That's the problem. I mean, looking at any of these teams, would they rather have Aaron Rodgers than what they have? The Browns, maybe.
Yeah, but they can't afford him because they have Deshaun Watson's contract.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's his contract.
Maybe the Titans.
Yeah, but I mean, the Titans aren't going anywhere this year, so they wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
It's got to be a team that's like in contention that needs a quarterback.
Seahawks, maybe? Is he any better than Geno?
I don't think
so. At this point, I don't know.
I don't think so. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think
they're too far out of it.
They should trade him to the Raiders. That'd be hella funny, dude. They trade Devontae Adams to the Jets, and then they trade Aaron Rodgers to the Raiders.
What they trade for Devontae? A third?
Yeah, like a 3rd round pick.
Okay, so trade
the 3rd round pick.
Trade that 3rd round pick back for Devontae and Aaron Rodgers.
Oh,
we'll add another 3rd in there. We'll give you our 3rd.
That would be fucking hilarious, dude. But yeah, the Jets are. I mean, they're going nowhere, dude. This is probably Aaron Rodgers' last year too.
Yeah.
Because there's no way they fucking make the playoffs, dude.
No.
Not at this point.
Maybe the Giants are the only team that would probably rather have as QB.
Dude, the Jets have the same record as the Browns.
Yeah.
That's so bad, dude. They're so
They have the same record as the Browns, the Patriots. I mean, Miami is 2-5 because they had a bye week in there already, but
plus they were like hella injured.
But hella injured, yeah.
Yeah, the fucking Jets, dude. They're miserable franchise out there in New York.
Is that are they the worst? Is 2-6 the worst? No, Tennessee 1-6.
1-6, yeah. But the Jets are up there.
Carolina 1-7.
The Jets, oh yeah, the Carolina. That's definitely the worst team. Titans right behind them. All right, next game, Tennessee at Detroit. Detroit closed 13-point favorites. The total was 45. Detroit goes over the total on their own. They win 52-14. I mean, this team's just a fucking juggernaut, dude. They didn't even need to be good offensively today. They only threw the ball fucking 15 times, Ben.
Goff threw it 15 times. They threw it 19 total. But
yeah, I'm sorry. Goff threw it 15 times. Threw 3 touchdowns.
Yeah. Well, fucking Jahmyr Gibbs, 127 yards on 11 carries.
Insane.
A 70-yard.
They also had a punt return touchdown. I mean, they did it on all 3 phases, bro. They just fucking dominated this game, and the Titans are a fucking awful team.
Yeah, crazy too that it was 52-14, and the time of possession was Tennessee 35 minutes and 37 seconds, Detroit 24-23.
Insane.
They just scored fast.
Yep.
Total plays. Detroit 47, Tennessee 71.
It's fucking crazy, bro.
Tennessee had 6 more first downs than Detroit did.
Yeah. Detroit's really good. They're a good team on all 3 phases.
You think Max Crosby's heading in there?
Um, who?
Crosby.
I mean, dude, if you're the Lions, bro, you gotta do it.
I know he's come out and said, I don't want to be a part of the rebuild. You've got Davis saying, no, we're not even taking calls.
Yeah, but I mean, dude, the Raiders got to consider, because I mean, the Raiders have so many weaknesses on their team, dude, including quarterback, obviously. But I mean, they could use all the draft picks they can get. You could probably get at minimum a first and third round pick for Max Crosby, given that he doesn't really have any guaranteed money left on his deal. So
Yeah. First round pick, though, is not going to be great because the Lions are going to be
still a first round pick, though.
top 10. Yeah, that's true.
I mean, in the NFL, like, really, first, like, 4 rounds are players you're drafting to play, like, right away.
Yeah. And if you're the Raiders, you're going to get a top 10. So you go your top 10 and your high 20s.
Yeah.
And trade up.
Yep. Or, I mean, I would just use those picks, dude. Just,
yeah.
Like I said, dude, first 4 rounds of an NFL draft, you're drafting guys to basically start for you that year.
Yeah. Unless there's a QB that they want to jump ahead at.
Yeah.
But I don't think this year there's many QB options, right?
Shador, Cam Ward, Quinn Ewers.
Yeah, but they're not lights out QBs, right?
I think Shador is going to be really good. I think Cam Ward can be very good. The other two I don't really care for.
Isn't Cam Ward injured, or is he just?
No, he plays for Miami. He's Miami's quarterback.
I thought he was injured.
Nah.
Or he was like choosing not to play or something like that.
No, that was Quinn Ewers. But that it was just a rumor.
Okay.
But Quinn Ewers got benched last week. Again. For Arch Manning.
Gotcha.
Peyton and Eli's nephew.
Yep.
All right, let's move on to Philly at Cincy. Philly closed 2.5-point dogs. The total is 47. The total goes over. Philly wins 37-17. This game was close in the first half, and then the Eagles just kind of took over. That Cincinnati defense is just so bad, and they've been so good lately that they just they couldn't make any mistakes on offense, or else the game was going to be over because they can't stop anybody.
Yeah.
And the Eagles took care of business, and like I said, dude, the Eagles are getting that defense is improving every single week, and that's scary for the rest of the league.
Yeah. Yeah, their defense is improving every single week, but it's the Browns, the Giants, and the Bengals. And Browns and Giants, not difficult.
Yeah, but I mean, they fucking dominated that Giants game though.
Yeah.
I know it's just the Giants, but dude, they had how many sacks? 9 sacks in the game. Dude, that's insane.
8 sacks for 62. Yep.
That's a lot of fucking sacks, dude. Against any NFL team.
Yeah.
Telling you, dude, this Eagles team is getting better at the right time. But we'll see what happens. As far as the Bengals go, man, that defense is just that's not a good defense, bro.
That's causing them to lose games. And it's unfortunate because, you've got a lot of good young offensive players there that, should be able to push things over. But, man, that defense is so bad.
Yep. All right. Baltimore at Cleveland. Baltimore closed 7-point favorites. The total is 45. Cleveland wins the game 29-24. First game they scored over 20 points all year. Just a big game from fucking Jameis Winston, man. 27-41, 334 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 picks. Lamar was good himself, man. He had a couple of really good drives. The last drive he had was really good, but they scored way too fast, dude. They left way too much time on the clock for Cleveland. And they lose the game. It's a division game. Like I said earlier in the show, I felt like this was Cleveland's Super Bowl. I told Ben last night, I was like, the Browns are gonna win this fucking game tomorrow. I just had this feeling, bro. That, like all this talk that they had, reading all the press conferences throughout the week, it just felt like that this was a must-win game for that team, dude.
Yeah.
And they played like it, which is why I'm not taking a ton away from Baltimore, dude. Like every team's allowed a fucking stinker to throughout 17 weeks.
Mm-hmm. Then when was the last time Jameis played a game?
Well, I mean, he's played in games. This was his first start in, I think they said 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
So,
Just a lot of question marks for Baltimore's defense there.
yeah.
We don't see a QB play.
Well, I mean, they had Marlon Humphreys out. Like, they had some injuries. But, I mean, Jameis should have been playing all along for Cleveland. Like, how much better would this Cleveland team be if he played all year instead of fucking Deshaun Watson? That's the thing.
Yeah.
But, all right, let's move on to the Monday Night Football game. We have the New York Giants at the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers are laying 6. The total is 36.5 basically everywhere right now. Ben, what do you like, or what do you think about this game?
I mean, I'm on this. The New York offense is just absolutely horrible, which is going to really make this. I don't want to say an easy game for Pittsburgh because they're all professionals, but this is not going to be a difficult game. Pittsburgh's defense is strong. New York's offense is just so trash. New York's only scored 99 points over their 7 games, compared to other teams that are in that top echelon teams are in that 200 plus area, 230, 240 area. Middle of the pack teams are in that 200 area, and they're at 99. The offensive line is horrible. Daniel Jones is not good, and I think you have that dual threat from Justin Fields and Russell Wilson coming into that game. You're going to see Fields playing a few, probably 10 plays. And even though his arm isn't great, he can still throw the ball and he can run the ball. So I think that kind of pushes things.
I don't think Justin Fields plays at all.
You don't think he plays at all, huh?
Nah, I think Russell Wilson's a better quarterback because Justin Fields doesn't have like the deep ball, and like you saw last game,
I agree.
The Jets that deep ball just opened things up because that's what George Pickens is like really good at, right?
Oh no, but they're gonna throw him in a couple plays here and there.
Maybe, I don't know. I will say this, dude: the Giants lead the league in sacks. They have one of the best defensive lines in football. And if Russ is back there, he's not going to have a lot of time to throw because the Steelers allow almost 3 sacks a game anyways. So they aren't the greatest offensive line. I think the biggest discrepancy here is that obviously Pittsburgh's offense, they're able to run the ball a lot better than, well, obviously the Giants, but the Giants aren't really good at stopping the run. That's where they're susceptible to. Really good pass rush defense, not a good rushing defense, which is why I would lean Giants +6, but I'm probably going to stay away. But I like Daniel Jones under 199.5 passing yards tomorrow because I think he's going to be under duress from the Steelers' defensive line, which is going to cause a problem. And I think the total's too low. Like, I lean the under 36.5 because I don't think the Giants are going to score very much. I don't think either team's going to score a lot. But my biggest fear is there's going to be a turnover or two in this game that's going to flip the field and have a short field, and that could be the difference in the total. So I lean the total under 36.5, but I like Daniel Jones under 199.5 passing yards tomorrow, which you can find at most books right now.
Yep. I do like that too.
I fucking hate this game. I cannot lay 6 with the Steelers, bro. I just can't do it.
It's the Giants, though, bro.
I know. For some reason, the Giants are like good on the road. They're 2-1 on the road, and they're 0-4 at home. And like their defensive line is good. And like the Steelers' offensive line is not good. Pass protection, that is.
Yeah, 2-1 on the road, but the Browns suck and the Seahawks. Seahawks are better, but
They were like 7.5-point dogs in that Seahawks game.
yeah.
I don't love this
They're not
game
good.
though.
They're not going to be able to put up points.
I don't. Well, the Giants, it's gonna be tough sledding for them to put up points, but I don't think the Seahawks are gonna. I mean, not Seahawks. I don't think the Steelers are gonna go out there and fucking just light up the scoreboard by any stretch.
Yeah. It's going to be like a 21-7 game. 21-5. We'll say it's going to be a safety and a field goal for the Giants.
Safety would be crazy. This is one of those games where I would bet no touchdown to be scored.
No, Pittsburgh will score a touchdown.
Shoot. I don't know. This is one of those
It could very
games.
well be like a 7-3 snooze fest, though.
Yeah, this is definitely not going to be a great game. So I lean the under, but I do like Daniel Jones under passing yards for sure.
Yeah, I think that's a good bet too.
I really like that one. All right. Let's get some best bets.
Here we go.
What do you like tomorrow, Ben?
All right, so I'm gonna go. I'll just do two best bets for tomorrow. I'm gonna go Pittsburgh -6. I've already played this one. I would love it at even 5.5, but we're gonna take it at 6. I don't think the Giants are gonna be able to score here. And I think you do have some plays where you'll see Justin Fields come in and run the ball. And obviously he's not going to come in for a whole drive, but he'll get plays here and there, like he did last week. And then I'm going to go with LA Dodgers over 3.5 runs tomorrow. You are paying a price. It is juiced at 150 right now. If you get it at 4, I think that's going to be a better place. You'll get it around that like 115 area. I would definitely play that too. And then you have that push option if it does just hit 4. But I think they are going to be able to put up some runs on Schmidt. Especially before you get into game 4 there, where it's a must win. I'd even put Dodgers +130 just for the value there.
Yeah, I agree. I kind of like the total under in tomorrow's game. I haven't played it yet, but I lean the under for the whole game.
Yeah, whole game I think you could play. I don't think you play first 5 because
yeah, I don't want to touch first 5, dude.
Yeah, this season the Dodgers have hit Schmidt's pitches well. I know it's playoffs and it's different, but you always have that there. And vice versa, the Yankees have hit Walker's stuff well. So
yep. But I like NBA. I like the Sacramento Kings -12 tomorrow against the Portland Trailblazers. The Blazers are coming off a back-to-back, a game in which they won tonight against the New Orleans Pelicans. But I like the Kings at home tomorrow -12. I'll probably get involved in the Celtics team total over tomorrow too. I just haven't seen it listed anywhere yet. I'm hoping it's around 115 to 117. If it's around there, I'll play the over. So I would look out for that as well, because the Bucks fucking suck. It's a shitty ass fucking basketball team out there in Milwaukee. Fucking terrible, bro. The basketball gods were like, we're going to punish you, so we're going to put fucking Doc Rivers as your head coach. And now I'm just fucking in piss because that dude fucking sucks. And he's the fucking head coach of my basketball team.
we need to get the losing sound from Price is Right.
Wah, wah, wah. Is that what it was?
No, it's a
I kind of like Cavs tomorrow too, but I haven't played it. I don't like that Knicks team, dude. I don't think the Knicks are very good.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna be looking to fade them anytime I can. But yeah. All right, everybody, enjoy Monday night. We got Monday Night Football, World Series, NBA, just a ton of shit going on. So everybody fucking have fun out there. Enjoy that shit. We'll be back on Tuesday night. We'll be talking some more World Series. We might even be talking about, just recapping the World Series because it could be over Tuesday night. So it's a very good possibility. So we will be back Tuesday night. Come join us, twitch.tv/taproomsports, youtube.com/@taproomsportspodcast. If you missed any of the show, you can always find it right after. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast fix, it'll be live right there. Not live, but it'll be on there. You can listen to it. We appreciate y'all. For Mr. Big Ball and Ben Larson, I'm Jordan Stacks on Stacks on Stacks Last. We're out of here. Peace.
Later.